Hi, good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Pankaj. The past sessions, I am again here in front of you all to bring in one more expert from the core domains to bring out his experience in our program called Parivartan Student Guidance Program. So it is a program in which basically we bring in experts from their core domains, and the experts share their experiences, their journeys, how they went through all their paths and processes. So on that very course, today again we are having an expert on board. So I welcome Arun Kumar sir. So welcome Arun sir, and good evening to all. And Arun sir has joined us from directly from UK as of now. And I'll be just reading a short details about Arun sir, though there is a lot of things to tell about him. But yes, Arun Kumar sir joined the history department in September 29 in the Norwegian Nottingham University, and his work explores different facets of working class life histories, including their dreams, education, nighttime histories, and literary culture. He's a education and welfare capitalism. Dr. Kumar's research has appeared in journals such as Past and Present, South Asia Journal of South Asia, Journal of South Asian Development, and International Reviews of Social History, and his writings have been translated into Ukrainian languages as well. Arun sir has completed his PhD work and was awarded the Outstanding Dissertation Prize of the German Historical Institute, London, for the year 2018. Before joining Nottingham University, Arun sir has worked as a research fellow at the International Institute of Social History, Amsterdam, Linnaeus University, Sweden, and the Marian Tagore International Center for Advanced Studies, New Delhi. So I would there is a lot to talk about, but let's hear from Arun sir. And over to you, Arun sir, to start off. Just please tell us about yourself. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Pankaj, for inviting me, and thank you to Parivartan for inviting and hosting me. It's great to interact with your audience and people who are going to join you for this session. I am from UP, and I did my bachelor's in Delhi University, and after that, I did my MA in history from Delhi University as well, and I moved on to Germany to do my PhD in South Asian history, which I completed in 2017. Majority of my life has been studying history, Indian history, global history in some form or other, and a large portion of that was in India. Since 2013, I have been outside of India, doing various PhD and postdoc degrees, and then I started teaching at Nottingham University in 2019. And here at Nottingham, I teach broadly colonial Indian history, British imperial history, and global history, history of caste, capitalism, slavery, a number of things, yeah, which come from my research.
Oh, so thanks for sharing, sir. So just to tell our audience that in the past we have been bringing mostly experts which were related to the core professional. I use the word core professional. So basically, I was telling about engineering. So it was a very, it's basically a very smooth platform for people in India who study engineering and then they move abroad and do their higher studies or start their professional career over there. But since sir is from a the arts background, or I would say from history, so it will be very interesting to hear from sir and learn about his experiences. So studying in Delhi University and then going to Germany and then now pursuing a career at Nottingham University. So again, I welcome you on board, sir. So starting off, just we want to hear about your journey. So how you went to Germany from Delhi, and also if a student who wants to go from India to Europe or America for higher studies, then how he or she can apply. So yeah, that's what we want to hear from you at the very first, sir.
These are very, I think, relevant questions to those who are trying to go abroad. Um, when I went to um, Germany. It was 2013, and I had immediately passed out from my master's degree in that university. Um, I think one thing that was very important at that period, which helped me, was that the good grades, they really matter. I think the foreign universities, the only way to assess about you is your marks, and of course your extracurricular activities. So those are the other um, things that they look into. Um, but they also kind of look into how you write, how you, if there is an interview, they look how you speak, how you articulate and present your ideas. So for example, in my case, they were looking, I went for PhD, and I had also applied, much before PhD, I had applied for masters in the UK, and I got accepted, but I never went. Actually, I continued to do the masters in India. And but whatever the degree that anyone is choosing, what's important is your statement of purpose, which basically tells what you want to study and why you want to study and why you are the best person to study that degree. So basically, it asks a number of uh, things from you. It's usually a one page or two page letter, and along with the marks that you have for your school, or your BA degree or BSc degree or MA or MSc, whatever degree that you're going for, the statement of purpose kind of adds to that. So if you have a good statement of purpose and good marks, it's amazing. I think the journey becomes smooth, and of course the other things that matter. One more thing which is very important, I think this applies to anyone, which is proper guidance. A lot of people, they don't have good information when they apply, or they have the information, but that information is not so relevant at that particular point. So it'll be good that you have a good source of information. Nowadays there's a lot of information available online, and everybody has digital access to all the sites, including the university websites, um, and other platforms. For example, there are various websites which tell you the process of application. When I was applying, those informations were quite limited, or they were not necessarily perfect information. So I would suggest that you have an excellent source of information, and that information is up to date, and that helps you in kind of making the application in time with the relevant documents. Pankaj, you are mute.
Yeah, so like you're telling that the source of information. So starting with that question only, sir, where can student find this information that these kinds of opportunities, or these higher studies opportunities or fellowship opportunities are available? Where can they scroll? Internet is there, but still there will be some, because what I have heard that there are some agencies, people sometimes follow with these agencies, but they charge some money. But what is the easiest way and the integral way to find these options?
I think depends what you're applying for. If you're applying for undergrad degree or post grad degree, the best place to start is the university website and the university course website. So here in the UK, most of the universities have their information laid out on their website, and these are very detailed information that they have, um, starting from like stepwise information what you need to do. And it's very important that you follow that website then any other kind of agency. I think agents, the role of the agents will come later. First you have to kind of figure it out, what's the process, right? Unless you know what's the process, you cannot use the agency system so well. So it is very important that you start your own navigation from the website, the authentic, the first hand source. And then of course there is also the admission FAQ. There are various videos that the universities do these days, and I would really recommend those who are interested in going abroad is to watch those videos and follow those FAQs. In addition to these, there is always kind of a support system where you actually either can chat with the admission team, or you can write an email to them asking questions, and these teams are usually very quick to reply. So it'll be best that you have gone through the website, and each program has its own website. So let's say you want to do a BSc in mathematics or MSc degree, all that program will have its own kind of page on that university's department or university or institution, and you look at that page thoroughly, and there are further links which they provide. And then there are other additional web pages that you can look into. For example, there is a UCAS system that universities here in the UK follow for the undergrad admissions. Some of the universities follow, not necessarily, probably all, I don't know. But broadly, a number of universities do follow UCAS. And then there is more information about the admission process. But then again, they'll refer back to the university that you're interested in going about.
Yeah. So since you have already mentioned that you applied in masters, so there is a question basically from a viewer that when can they start applying? Like you already gave the example of BSc mathematics, and so going from your journey, how you picked that particular college. So this is also a question which is being asked. So how you can choose those colleges, that where to go? Is there any ranking or any platform where best colleges list are there from any geographical location? So how you went about in your case, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it gets very bewildering because there's so many universities, there's so many institutions which offer, and there's so many countries where you all can go. I think
Yeah.
the best way is to look um, first, um, where are the kind of good faculties for the course, and most of the students who would be applying, they would know the QS World Ranking. That's like the global ranking system. And but in addition to that, there are other rankings like which are done subject wise, and these subject wise rankings are quite useful. Particularly, I think in the UK they have one from the Guardian, Times Higher Education. It'll be helpful to have to follow kind of one or two ranking systems, and subject wise, not necessarily the university wise. So you follow that, and then of course there is the financial aspects, which is that some universities in some countries charge some fee while other universities don't charge that much. So depending on the financial situation, you make a choice like which country and which university you want to go in. In the UK, most universities charge a particular international student fee. Depending on the course that you're choosing, there is a variation in that. Um, the other, I think, important criteria to think of it is if you know anyone who has gone and what's their experience been, or just like some follow up from people who have already been in that university, and if they know anything. If you don't have that information, if you don't have privilege of knowing that information, which probably not many people would know, if they're first generation learners, the best place to do is to kind of check the university website and see what kind of faculties the universities have, what kind of there is student union websites for each universities, and they write about the universities, this experience uh, of that universities. So there are lots of surveys which are being done about the university. So I would also alert the students to look at the news about that university that they have selected. Let's say you chose 5 universities, right? You shortlisted 5 universities, and if I would be the person, I would look at the news from all these 5 universities. I'll look at the faculty members from these 5 universities. I'll try to get some sense of student experience from the university website, from the student union website, and I will also see how these universities offer student life in terms of the larger, like, is the university located very well? Is it convenient? And what are the costs? What are the costs in terms of the living? So I would kind of take all those factors in consideration, and of course I will look at the rankings, like if it is in top 100, top 50, all those things would be taken into consideration. Yeah.
Yeah. So, sir, there is a question from a user that you told about the faculties, knowing the faculties, and
Hmm.
knowing the about the faculties. So, there is a question that whether the faculties also, since the email IDs of most of the faculties are available on the websites,
Yeah.
university websites. So, do they answer also? This is the question basically. When we
um
talk to them.
no, I don't think the individual faculty member would reply to a prospective, because they have so many students themselves. I mean, it's up to individual, but they can definitely write to the admissions team. So there is an admissions team, and if they have a question, they can ask from the admission teams, and they would be the person to contact, actually the best person. So and they would be the also the person to give you the best advice, I would say.
Okay. So you also mentioned about the cost, sir. So cost plays a very significant role.
Hmm.
And you have been through Germany. So in Germany, what I also know that there are government universities which has considerably lesser fee as compared to the universities that are there in UK.
Hmm.
So how to go about it? I mean, what is the basic a package, if we think of that, how much we are supposed to invest when we see doing a graduate or under postgraduate degree from abroad, sir?
Well, there are two or three main kind of expenses. One is, of course, the tuition fee, and you said that in Germany there are some state universities which offer more subsidized tuition fee. And when I was in Germany, I think my tuition fee was very little. I think for one semester I was paying 25,000 rupees, something like that, for one semester. So literally there was no fee, because with that 25,000 you were given bus pass and the travel pass, so you could travel in and around the university area for free. And then it allowed you access to number of things like printing and other things. um so but in the UK the scene is different. There is a international students fee, which uh, is different for each course. So, and the best place to look at that is the university program website. And whatever program that you're interested in, and whatever university that you're interested in, you just type. Let's say you are interested in doing an masters in mathematics, right? MSc in mathematics at the University of Edinburgh, right? So you just type University of Edinburgh masters in mathematics, um, and whatever uh, degrees that they offer in that field might come up. Or you can, the other way is that you can go to the department of mathematics at that particular XYZ university and then look MA program there, and then under that there'll be a fee and funding option where it'll tell you what fee it is. um, and they are the only person who can tell you exactly what the fee for each year. The fee changes sometime, and for each course it is very different. So it's very difficult to give a number, but usually, like, it's more than 9,000 in the UK, 9,000 pounds in the UK for any undergrad. No, I think for the undergraduate degrees, I think altogether it comes about 30,000 pounds for I think, for the degree. Well, I think depends also for each degree.
University wise. Yeah.
No, it depends even for the course. So if you're
Okay.
doing medical degrees, you pay
Yeah.
different.
They'll be charging high.
Yeah, if you're doing a humanities degree, you pay. And so the best place is to kind of look, and each year the university keeps changing, upgrading the fee. So the fee for 2023 would be different from 2024. Yeah.
And sir, like we enter a university, so are there any scholarship programs also in the beginning or in the intermediate semester courses?
Definitely, I think most universities have uh, some form of bursaries, scholarships, and they allow you to apply. So it is very good that you apply very much in advance to the program that you are interested in. So it gives you some time to apply for the scholarship. So let's say your course is starting in September or October. uh, the most of the degrees, the scholarships that are attached to that degree program would be advertised from January to March, April, May onward, like in between that January to April or May window. So it is very important that you have kind of made your admission application in time, so that you are eligible to apply for those funding schemes if you want it from the very first year. The second thing which is important to keep in mind is that these funding schemes are very competitive. So you do prepare your application in a very clear and in a very succinct manner, and uh, they should be kind of they should be effective enough that you're at least kind of your application gets looked. The other thing important in this regard is to check the degree program that you're interested in and look at the fee waivers and the fee scholarships for the international students that each university offer. So there's in some universities there are specific programs with India. For example, King's College has specific programs, scholarships for Indian students. Uh, some universities offer scholarships to students, to international students coming to that particular university only. So again, the website is the best place to look at these. And then there are very general scholarships like Rhodes Scholarship, like Felix Scholarship, that one can apply for the UK. For Germany, it's DARD, which is very important.
Okay. So we have been through scholarship. Now there is one more question. It is basically the accommodation, because
Hmm.
accommodation is something wherein the students have to invest a lot. I guess at least 30 to 40%. So
Yes,
we want to know from your experience also, and then probably uh, just a second. Hello, am I audible, sir?
yes, yes.
Yeah, so we want to know from your case also, and then probably you can tell more about like what students can do so that there is not a lot of burden on them regarding accommodation.
Well, I think in the UK, normally most of the universities, I would assume, they offer accommodation at the university for the first years, and then from the second year and third year onwards, you kind of move into the private market, basically student privately owned student accommodation, where you actually rent it from outside the university players. In Germany, where I was, I mostly lived. Actually, I lived both in the university accommodation, which I applied online, and then privately. And these could be shared housing. For example, you have your own room, but you kind of share it with two, three other students or five other students. And majority of the universities will have these kind of private uh, uh, accommodation area where um, university students stay. So one way to kind of solve it is to be there in the UK and then look for it. For the first years, I think it's always best to take the university accommodation. I think then you make friends, and you get to know a lot of people and the UK system. And then from the second year onwards, you kind of look shared housing, what's called here, like you basically share the common areas but with your own room, which are also cheaper than renting your own like full flat or house. The I think in terms of the cost, I think it's the cost. It's like one of the cost, recurring cost, and student accommodation is not cheap. I would say it's very expensive anywhere in the western part of like world. So whether you're going to Germany or to UK, it's the key expense that one has to keep in mind. And it all depends on the university place that it is. So, for example, some university towns or cities will be cheaper than others. So it will be best to have like look at that city's information, like what is the average rent for a room in a shared house beforehand, like going. Universities do provide some indicative figures, which are again very helpful to kind of plan.
Okay. And since the students go over there, so I mean, most of the students may not be having that much money that they can sustain with the money that is being provided by their parents or that the savings they have. So are there options? I mean, we have heard that there are options. So what are the options that the students can work after their I mean, academic hours or in their spare time? So what are those options, if you can throw some light on it?
Well, I don't know specifically what are the kind of current conditions, but usually I think with the student visa that you get, you could work up to 20 hours per week. And that and there are like always jobs within the university, like in the student union, or you can always work outside of the university. So it depends actually on the visa that you get, like the visa conditions. And I think most of the universities would allow limited work hours. I think one has to like get a clarification from that particular university. What are their stance, like if you're on a full-time degree and if you want to work, provided that your visa allows you to work, I guess. I think visa allows 20 hours in the UK. And uh, and then it's up to, I think, university whether you need to inform them. If so, how you have to inform, you have to kind of ask the admissions team. I think they would be the best person to kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
So there is one more question from a viewer. So, what are the healthcare options? Like the university provides it because it is also a burden. Since I know from one of my friend that healthcare in India is cheap, but in abroad it's very much costly and expensive. So
I
how
think with
to
the
make those
yeah,
expenses? Yeah.
yeah, with the UK visa, you have to pay an NHS fee at the time of the visa. And if once you have paid that fee, it becomes free for you. So you pay an upfront fee to the NHS in the beginning. It's called health surcharge. So those who are interested in could look at this health surcharge UK visa, student visa. And once you have paid that and you're eligible for that, I think there are no further cost. Yeah, your healthcare is looked after. Like, so you get registered to the local GP here or the university health system, and then you access like anyone.
Okay. So just to know from
But for
your
the
experience.
Germany and other places, you have to buy your health insurance,
Okay.
which is, I think, once you are in that country, you can buy. I remember when I was in Germany, I bought a private healthcare for 26 or 30 euros, which was 2013 and 2014 per month. But it was very good. So if you fell sick, they would cover everything.
Okay. So, just to know from your experience, sir, I mean, you pursued a PhD from Germany. So, what are the challenges? Challenges in terms of academics, if we can understand, for a person who has gone from India and studying abroad. So, academic challenges we would first like to hear from you, sir.
Well, I think one of the big challenges when you arrive here is understanding the system itself. How does that work? I think universities work very differently here. They are much more organized. The classes happen on time, and um, if there is any cancellation, they would inform you in advance. And the other thing which is very challenging is um, uh, some people find it like difficult to follow some of the accents in the classroom. So I would suggest that you work on that before coming here. So let's say if you're going to a particular university in a particular region which has a, and that area has particular uh, language. So if you go, let's say if you're going to Germany and you only know English, it'll be best that you have some knowledge of German to begin with, so that your life gets easier. The third challenge, I think, which is very important, is to make friends in the beginning. And these could be your academic friends and non-academic friends. Um, I think the best way is to join societies in the universities here, and you learn quite a lot from that. But you also make friends, and then you can ask questions from those people. So I would say these three things are quite important.
Okay. There is a question regarding the cultural challenges also, sir. We get to hear from Australia, basically, where people face the challenges that they are being treated almost as an outsider.
Hmm.
So, from your experiences, what has been the scenario over there in Germany and in UK, sir?
Well, I think here the universities are very much kind of accommodated with the fact that there's so many international students. Um, I don't think there is any particular challenge in terms of difference of race that students face here. Um, and in my experience, I have never faced those kind of ugly experiences. So I can't say much on this. But I think one thing which is very important is to respect the local laws and know about the local laws on a number of things. A lot of students come and they don't know how to behave, what to do, what not to do. So it is best that you have some information in advance about the local society, the local laws, and the behaviors, and to follow that. And also learn, update yourself while you're here. That is quite important. In terms of the cultural challenges, the UK universities are quite good because very diverse. The society itself is very diverse. Germany, on the other hand, is challenging if you don't know German as a language, because the local people broadly speak German in their day-to-day life, and it is possible that not everyone would know English in Germany. So then your choice of interaction gets limited. But of course, there will be students who would know English, right? So again, that's the kind of other problem that one could face.
Yeah. So now there is a question, very basic question from a viewer, that in India we get to have the facilities in undergrad or postgrad level for the uh, laundries and the other basic, like ironing of clothes, and everything is available here. But what is the situation, and how what you have done during your course of journey in Germany?
Well, here it's very expensive, so you have to do it by yourself, unless you
Okay.
are very very rich, and you could get it done by outside. I think most of the students, like if they're not in a catered housing, which is like the where there is a canteen or what they call here cafeterias, you have to cook by yourself. There is no maid as such would come and cook, uh, which is like very common in India. Students hire domestic help who would come and cook for 3 4 people in that house. That's So you to cook by yourself, you to do your laundry by your own. There are washing machines, there are dryers, and you to iron yourself. So yeah, so that's and I think it's very good because it makes you more human. I think it's also like teaches you the value of labor and the household course that one
Right.
has to learn in their adulthood. So I wouldn't be shy in doing that. Well, yeah, but there is a general inconvenience if you're coming from a culture where all of or the majority of your work was done by some
Yeah,
form
it
of
was
employee.
outsourced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now coming to the, I mean, like you have completed the PhD from Germany. So you didn't thought for going for postdoc, sir, over there, or you just started applying for jobs?
No, I did do a postdoc for a year in Sweden,
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
it's
after
there.
that I
Yeah.
did a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, then regarding the job, sir. So,
Hmm.
after completing postdoc, so how did that journey begin to apply for the jobs over there?
Jobs application is very simple here. It's unlike India where you have to provide a lot of documentation, lots of certifications.
Yeah.
Here you apply on the university portal, the application portal system, and they ask you some details, some um, references, and um, and some of your writings sometime. So portfolio, what they call portfolio, so your published writings, and then they invite you for interview. Yeah. If they invite you for interview, usually they pay for it. In like if you're trying to become a professor, then I think certainly I don't know about the other sectors. The I think the other aspect of this job application is that you follow like LinkedIn, jobsac.uk. There are a number of websites which tell you what kind of jobs are available and what kind of jobs you can do. Um, and It's, I would say, much easier, much more straightforward process um, than I would say in India. In India, you have to apply lots of documents. So for example, when I was applying at Indian universities, and when I see the amount of information that they need at the very beginning, all sorts of certifications, all sorts of um, um, employment, what you can say, employment certificates from past, no objection certificates. It just gets very crazy. Here, they need some certification after you are selected.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, just to know more in a detailed manner, sir, your application process. Like you told that it's a simple one, you apply, but how was that basically?
So
Application
when I was
selection?
yeah
Yeah.
yeah when I was applying for this current job, I was in India, so I applied it from India itself. I was in
Okay.
Delhi, and it was an online application. I had to provide some of the details. I had to provide my educational history, where all I studied, and then I had to answer some questions, and then it needed some references. And After that, uh, uh, I had an interview. So they shortlisted me for the interview. So for that interview, I traveled to the UK. It was like a 1 day interview, and I gave the interview. And just after the day of the interview, I was told that I'm shortlisted for the job. So, so in that sense, I think it was very pretty straightforward uh, process for me, I would say.
Okay, sir.
Hmm.
So now there is again a question that people who are completing their higher studies from abroad. So, like you already have told that it's a very tricky and a crazy thing to apply in India.
Hmm.
But again, we would like to know the know about the job opportunities. Like one is straightforward that you come to the academics and become a assistant professor or professor over here.
Hmm.
So, what are the other ways to get into? Like it is more. I mean, relevant in for your case because you are not from the conventional, which we talk these days as the engineering background. they have got options, but like we want to hear from you. What about your case, sir?
Well, I think the best way to kind of see is that where is your degree needed and what kind of jobs would need your degree. And the best place is to look websites like jobsec.uk and HNet and LinkedIn, and they provide so there are always like job descriptions, and you can see if you're eligible for those, and you can apply those ones. And of course, the conventional jobs like professorships, which is like that you can apply directly. So you apply in a more conventional way to the university, and you wait for when the universities. But then there are always firms, organizations where your degree could be needed and where your skills could be valued, and so you apply that through the system that they have. Um, in my case, I think I was applying at the universities, so I was usually using jobsec.uk as a website to know about what jobs were there, and then I was following the university websites or the institutions that I was applying to.
Okay. There's a question from a viewer, sir, that what is the retirement age for this professor jobs in UK?
Well, there is no retirement job here in the UK.
Okay.
If you're in the public university system, you can work as long as you're healthy. I think the state retirement age is either 66 or 60. I think 67. I'm not sure. Well, but that's the states. So you get a state pension or something like that. I haven't thought about it because I haven't reached at that stage yet. But there is no retirement age at the university that I'm working at. So I can work as long as I'm healthy.
And again, there is a question regarding coming back to India and working here, sir. So the viewer has asked that you applied in India also. So why again? I mean, if you have got an opportunity in abroad, so you would have got opportunity here also in
Yeah,
India.
yeah,
So
absolutely. No,
yeah.
actually,
So why you chose? Yeah.
no, I
Why
was
you
looking for
chose?
a job in India. So when I was applying for jobs, I had applied in India uh, and in Delhi and one job in Ahmedabad and few jobs abroad. And I wasn't shortlisted for Delhi job. I mean, I gave the interview, but I wasn't selected. So so this was the second job that I had given my interview, and I was offered the job. So I took the job, and then I had the interview lined up for I think Ahmedabad job, but I didn't go there for the interview because I had already got the job. So yeah, so that's why I landed up here. But yeah, in the future I would apply to India in future.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, if we want to know about the teaching experience over there from you, so
Hmm.
like you would have, I mean, you have been a student at Delhi University, then you have been a student in Germany, and now you are teaching in UK. So what about this transition, that experience from being a student and becoming a teacher in UK, sir?
It's very nice actually, because I've been to like many countries, so my learning experience is very diverse. I can handle different kind of situations, so it's very plus point for me. I think what's in terms of the transition from a student to teacher, it has been very smooth because I'm teaching here. You teach what you design, so I design my own courses. So I design what the readings would be given to the students, what content I have to teach to the students. So it's very much kind of in my own control. So so there is a lot of like continuity in terms of my student life and teaching life. In terms of the workplace, a lot of things you have to learn. So when I came to the UK, I had to learn a number of things. How the universities work here, what's the degree system. So all those things are very different from Germany or from India. So those I think you have to learn. So for anyone, I think if you join any organization in India or anywhere, you have to learn about that particular institution. What's the culture there? what's the way of working in that institution, right?
Okay. So there's a question from a viewer that what has been your research topic in PhD in Germany, and how you have been helped by the guides that were there, and what could have been your experience if you would have done that PhD in India? Likewise.
I worked on a very kind of 20th century, late 19th and 20th century theme in Indian history. And I was looking at the histories of working class education, particularly industrial and technical education. So, what's the history of India's industrial and technical schools and colleges? That was my PhD theme, and my experience was very positive, and I loved my supervisor in Germany. We have remained in touch. We talk to each other from time to time, and if I had worked in India, it all depends on the faculty member and the university culture. So I would highly recommend that if you are going for any university, you look at the person that you're going to work with, because for the 3 or 4 years you're stuck with that person, usually, unless you change it. And it's very important that you develop a very healthy relationship and a trustworthy relationship with your supervisor. Sometime you are allotted the supervisor. I think in India the problem is that you don't choose the supervisor, you are allotted the supervisor.
Yeah,
from the
right.
start.
That is basically the question from the
Yeah.
viewer, that how has been that support from your supervisor in
So
that manner?
in the Western system, you choose the supervisor. You are not allotted the supervisor. So that's the difference. In in India, I think it matters, but I think once your supervisor is allotted, you have to kind of develop ways in kind of developing healthy relationships with them. And I never had much of experience of working with Indian supervisors, but I have very good working relations with my teachers when I was doing my masters, and I was very much like looking forward to working with them. But before it could happen, I had already went abroad. So yeah, so I would say like try to get to know about the culture of the university, culture of the department, uh, and see what has been the experiences of the students. That would give you a basic sense of like what kind of relationships you can develop.
Okay. So since now we are nearing to that 1 hour, sir. So since this recorded video will be watched by many aspirants who are probably studying as of now and have aspirations to go abroad and pursue their masters or their undergrad or their PhDs or postdoc. So just in a summary, we want to hear from you that what should be the focused approach if they are studying as of now and they want to go. A summarized outlook from your side, sir.
Well, I think the first thing that they need to do is to focus on their grades, focus on the study that they're doing. So try to get a first. The second is to think in advance, which is that if you're applying for September this year, September 2024, you have to start thinking about applying and making the application process a year in advance, definitely 6 months in advance, because there are lots of documentation, visa process that you have to do, such as English language test, or English language requirement, by providing proof that your earlier degrees are done in English. Um, then, of course, is the funding. Like, think about funding and making sure that you apply to the scholarships that are available at least. And for that, you need to have like a plan a year advance. The other things are like to work on the statement of purpose. So statement of purpose should be written by you, choosing, telling 60-70% of it should tell why you want to do that degree and why you are the best person to do that degree. So what courses you've done in India, what experiences you have, so that you're the best person and you can finish that degree in time, and you have the appropriate knowledge and skills to do that. And then maybe 25% should be about the extracurricular activities, like if you've done excelled in the sports culture or whatever, or the work experience that you have. And then the references are very important, references from your teacher. Some universities, some programs do ask, definitely masters and phds do ask, so work on those references. Those references should tell your strength, tell your degree, like your marks in terms of qualitative information. So for example, have you improved over the period of time, what you have achieved, which the degree cannot explain. So like the marks cannot explain everything, so that's why they need references. So you could use ask your teacher to kind of write more and more about, and you should provide that information to the person who's writing the reference. And reference should be always written by people who have assessed you, who have marked you, who have worked with you in the past. So in the immediate past, I would say. So let's say if you're applying for a master's degree, it'll be best that you ask references or recommendation letter from your BA teachers who have taught you and who have looked at you and who would be able to comment your skills, your strength. And then finally, I think um, planning about your visa and everything. So making sure that you have the proper documentation. Once you're shortlisted for the admission, you have the money. You also need to apply visa well ahead in advance so that you have the visa when your degree starts. So start looking at the UK or whatever country that you're going to. Their websites, the visa websites, what information they need, what kind of documents they need from you. So I think those will be the informations that would be helpful to kind of plan.
Yeah. So, thank you, sir, for summarizing what all we have discussed throughout the last 50 odd minutes. And I definitely see this information going to the viewers and helping. This information will definitely help them out in planning their future course of action. And I wish that, and I look forward that we again host you on this platform, sir, in the future. So thanks a
Thank you,
lot
Pankaj.
for your precious time and guiding the viewers and answering their questions. And again, on behalf of Parivartan, I thank you a lot for coming on the platform, sir.
No problem. Thank you, Pankaj.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.